Hey everyone, it's Pam and I'm here with my monthly update telling you everything that I was up to in the month of December. First of all, I hope you had a fantastic holiday, a Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, and a Happy New Year. I had a pretty good holiday myself and I will get to some of the things I got for Christmas later on in the video. But first, starting out with podcasts as normal, there were 2 episodes of my podcast Media Mavens. The first one was about disaster movies. I'm a big disaster movie fan, even though I know some of them aren't all that good. So we talked about disaster movies and we had on Riley's brother Tyler to talk about them with us. So it was a lot of fun. Talked about some of my favorites, some of the disaster movies I think are quite terrible, and answered a lot of listener questions. And then the second episode of Media Mavens that came out in December was our holiday episode. So we talked about all of our Christmas traditions and the Christmas media that we particularly enjoy. So check those out if you haven't already. December was a pretty slow month for me in terms of videos. I think I only put out 3. I do have another episode of my top 100 games that should be coming out soon. I've got all the pieces, I just need to edit it. And I did get my top 10 of 2017 out before the end of the year this year. Usually I don't do it until January. So if you haven't already watched that, check it out. I think there are some cool games on there and there are some that you might not have heard of. And then I have a couple of reviews and things in the works for January. It's been a while since I did a shout out on one of these update videos, so today I want to shout out another YouTuber. It is Rewind Mike. Rewind Mike makes a large variety of videos. Though he has a focus on retro, he also does some new stuff as well. He's made videos about great Famicom games, music in games. He does hardware reviews as well, whether that's controllers or adapters or clone consoles. And he even does some reviews of newer games like Shadow of the Beast on PS4. His videos are very well made. They're very, very thorough and very informative, and he has a fantastic voice. He's great to listen to. So if you're looking to add some more gaming content to your YouTube subscriptions, definitely check out Rewind Mike. So as for pickups, there are a few things. First, one thing not Christmas related is I picked up the Book of Unwritten Tales 2 for Xbox One. I'm not totally sure if I'm going to like this. I played about 10 minutes and it's probably something I should have played on PC rather than Xbox, but we'll see. And then the rest of my stuff is all from Christmas. I got very, very spoiled this Christmas. One of the things that Will got me is dun, 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 the Xbox. Sorry, where do I put this? There we go. The Xbox One X. It's not in the box because it's hooked up already. I really love this. Usually I'm not someone who's like super about, you know, having the best frame rates and the best graphics, but I tried out the new Doom. That was the first game I installed on it, and it looks and plays so well. I'm not super in tune with all the graphical things, but I could tell right away the 60 FPS on that, and it just plays so much more smoothly than it did on the regular Xbox, so I'm really enjoying that. It looks fantastic as well. I also installed Rise of the Tomb Raider, which got the HD update, and it looks breathtaking. Like the beginning when they're on the mountain and there's the snow, it just looks so nice. So I'm really excited to play more games on the One X. I have a few games for it that I want to try out. One of the games that Will got me to go along with it was Super Lucky's Tale. This did get the HD upgrade, even though it's kind of cartoony, so it's not like you can tell a whole lot other than in things like the frame rate and the load times. But so far, I'm really liking the One X. I can't wait to play some newer games that will really take advantage of its capabilities. The other thing that Will got me is a new camera, which I'm using now. I hope you can see a difference between this and my old webcam. This is a Canon Vixia, and I'll probably show some footage or a picture of it or something. If I have it set up properly, it should be recording 60 frames per second in 1080p. Which is great because my webcam that I had been using, it capped out at 30, and a lot of the time it would just randomly decide to record at 15, which would really suck and make it kind of hard on the eyes. But hopefully you can tell the difference, and I'm actually using the camera's onboard speaker right now. I tried it out on another video, and it's actually very, very good because usually I have to put in an external speaker because the webcam one really sucked, but this actually sounds good. So I might get a condenser mic, but I'm pretty happy to have this new camcorder, so hopefully my videos will look better going forward. And the last thing I got, which again is set up right now, is that my mom got me an esports monitor, so it is fantastic as well. It runs at 144 hertz and the frame rate is a lot better. Overwatch looks fantastic on it and it plays fantastic. Maybe this will make me better at it, I hope. And yeah, I'll probably put in a picture of that as well. But I got very, very spoiled this Christmas. I hope you did as well, and let me know if you got any particularly interesting pickups. Now, as for games, I played a lot in December. Since I was making my top 10 of 2017 list, I wanted to get as many games finished as I could, so as I had games to choose from. I played The Lion Song, which is actually on my top 10 list. This is a game that actually came out in episodes, so the first 2 episodes came out in 2016, and the last 2 came out in 2017, so I played the last 2 episodes, and they were just beautiful. You can watch the top 10 video for more information, but that was a really lovely narrative adventure game that I played. I also played Reigns Her Majesty, which is a mobile game. It's the follow-up to the game Reigns, and it is a lot of fun. I actually played it for like 3 hours straight, and I don't play a lot of mobile games, so the fact that I just sat here in my house, not even while commuting or anything, and just played this game until I finished it really says a lot. You play the queen of a sort of medieval type setting, and you have to make decisions, and it's all done in kind of like a Tinder, I think? Tinder mechanic. So someone will come up on your screen and they'll say, oh, the peasants are asking for this, and you just like swipe left or swipe right to tell how you're going to respond to that question. And it's basically like a strategy resource management game where you have to balance everything. So you have to balance like the influence of the church and how happy the people are and how much money you've got in your coffers and the strength of the army, and you can't let any of those things either reach the bottom or the top of their meters, or something will happen and you will likely be violently deposed. So it's also got like an overarching story, which is really cool. So I definitely recommend Reigns Her Majesty if you are looking for a fun mobile game. The next game I played was Thimbleweed Park, which a ton of people have recommended to me because of my love for old point-and-click adventure games, and it did not disappoint. You can find more about that on my top 10 list as well. If you haven't watched that yet, I'm just giving away all the spoilers here, but it was a fantastic game with the sort of trademark LucasArts sense of humor, and I'm very glad that I finally gave it a shot. In December, I finished Divinity Original Sin 2, which I started a few months ago, I think back in October, and it's just so good. It's just a fantastic CRPG. I think every CRPG from now on has something to live up to because the game just did so many things so well, and it was just an absolute joy to play. In December, I also played Abzu, which is very much like the PS 3 and 4 game Journey, except it's underwater. And I actually liked it a lot more than Journey just because I do really like underwater settings. And it was just very beautiful. All the schools of fish and all the sort of marine life that you got to see was great. You could find these little meditation stones and just sit on them and watch sort of the ocean go by around you. And it had a giant squid, and more games need giant squids. I also played a game called Doki Doki Literature Club, and this is a visual novel which has gotten a ton of attention recently. Many people say you should go in without knowing anything about it at all, so it makes it very difficult to talk about. I would say if you like visual novels and you like horror, it's worth a shot. If you don't like visual novels, like I don't particularly like visual novels, it wasn't that good. They do some really cool things eventually in the game, but it took about an hour and a half to get there, and before that it was just like talking to annoying anime girls who wouldn't shut up. So I was kind of resentful that I had to play for 90 minutes before I got to the good stuff. So yeah, I have a sort of, I don't know if I recommend it. If you like visual novels, yes. If not, then I would skip it. So I also played Super Castlevania 4 in December, and it is the first Castlevania game I have played outside of Symphony of the Night, and I am halfway through writing a review of it, so you have a Castlevania review to look forward to soon, hopefully, as soon as I can actually get the script done. Overall, pretty good. I really liked it. So there's also this game, Blue Rider, which is a twin-stick shooter on, I think it's PS4 and Xbox One and PC. And I've been playing this game since March. It's only 10 levels, but there were a couple levels that were really difficult, and I kept sort of getting stuck on them and putting the game aside and coming back later. So finally, in December, I beat Blue Rider, and it's really good. Like, the controls are a little bit floaty and take some getting used to, but I highly recommend it. I think I bought it for maybe $5 on a sale on Xbox One, and I have gotten so many hours of gameplay out of that game and a lot of enjoyment. So if you like bullet hell shooters, twin stick shooters, I definitely recommend Blue Rider. It was a lot of fun. And the last couple games, as I was just trying to work out as many sort of indie 2017 games as I could, the first one is Subsurface Circular, which is made by the guy who made Thomas is Alone, and you play a robot detective on a subway line, basically, and he can't get off the subway. And another robot comes to him and he says that people, or other robots, are going missing. So you have to have conversations with everyone sort of getting on and off the subway and find out exactly what is happening. So this was a interesting game. Again, it's sort of like a visual novel, but I enjoy it more than I like the sort of anime kind of visual novels. You know, it had like a little bit of a detective story, a little bit of puzzle solving in it, and overall it was pretty good. And the last game I played, which I considered putting on my top 10 list, but it just missed out, was the Norwood Suite. And this game is hard to describe. It's like walking through an audio-visual art installation for a couple hours. It's kind of surreal and strange. People have compared it to kind of David Lynch. It's just a weird little game. It doesn't have the highest quality graphics or anything, but it's still very, very visually striking, and it has fantastic sort of jazzy kind of music. I really, really enjoyed it. I played through it in one sitting. You just go to this hotel called the Norwood, and you have to sort of not really solve a mystery, but everyone has sort of things they want you to do, objects they want you to get them, and you find all these like secret passages in the hotel and these tableaus of things that have happened, and it's really, really interesting. probably not for everyone, but there's also another game by the same person, and it's called Off Peak, and it's free on Steam. So if you think you might like the Norwood Suite, you can check out Off Peak for free, and that should tell you if that's the kind of game that you'd like. I thought it was fantastic. It sort of just missed out on my top 10. Actually, there were a few things I wanted to talk about that missed out on my top 10. One is Stories Untold, which I think I've talked about before. Sort of interactive fiction. It takes sort of like a different sort of like text parser games. Like it's 4 chapters, and every one you're sort of sitting at some kind of terminal, and the first one is like a text parser game. It's like, open the door, go in the hallway, go up the stairs, and it gets really creepy and weird, and the other ones are sort of different things on that theme. It was just really good, really effective, very spooky. Another one that just missed out is Little Red Lie, which is a game about sort of economic woes and poverty and how difficult it can be for people, not just millennials, but even people a little bit older, to sort of make a living by working a job. It sort of just brings up a lot of things like economic troubles with family, mental illness, things like that. It's very cynical game, but there's also sort of a lot of truth to it, and I really liked that game. Was there anything else? I feel like there was one more thing. Oh, Tacoma. I really liked Tacoma. It was from the makers of Gone Home, except this one takes place on a abandoned space station, and you're trying to find out what happened. So I really liked all those games. I think 2017 was really good for gaming. Aside from all the big releases, which everyone loved, which I either didn't love or didn't choose to play, there were just a lot of smaller games that were really fantastic. Anyway, I hope you watch my top 10 video and find some maybe new games that you hadn't heard too much about to play. I feel like I've been talking for a long time, although this cat hasn't moved the entire time. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you were up to last month, any exciting pickups or any exciting games that you played, recommendations for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.